Okay, so my video just got cut off here. Okay, so I'm going to continue on a couple more important things. Okay, so it's February 28th, 2026. This is Debbie Davis. Okay, so the other thing I found out recently from talking to another person that is from MUFON that I had met, and that it was kind of a he was a person that he was in the military, but he's kind of used as a for his IAQ in the military for different various bases. Okay, so anyway, I was talking to him about these issues that I'm having on my phone, and different things like that, and he was mentioning this base in New Jersey. There is apparently a CIA base in New Jersey. Okay, and so that makes total sense to me. This might be where the attacks on my phone are coming from. Maybe, is what he I think was mentioning. And then also remember the drones were out of New Jersey. Okay, and then it makes sense that it's something in that area that's, I think, attacking myself. So this is a message for all military people. Okay, there seems to be a CIA operated base in the New Jersey area. Okay, and he said they're also capable of this voice to skull technology there. Okay, so and then so remember how they could never tell us where these drones came from, and it was really high level, even our own government. That's because our own government is run by the CIA. We know this now, right? I mean, we don't have to keep talking about this. If it's ever been, I mean, so to all military, like, if you have to know the history here. Ever since JFK was assassinated in this country, that is when the CIA completely infiltrated every area of the government, of our United States government. Okay, and so our government is run by the CIA. So, but there's of course, we know about Langley, but there's other bases that are also CIA run. Okay, of course, they have secret bases everywhere. There's one in Alaska, apparently. Okay, but this one he particularly told me about today is the New Jersey one. And and then I actually did a video, and when I was in, a little bit south of the city where I was staying before, I'm staying in a hotel. And we were out just hanging out in the evening. We would hang out, a few of us, and we saw drones. What are drones doing in Mankato, Minnesota? Okay, what in the world? I mean, you can look at my video of a couple months ago. Okay, I put the video up, and I think it called drones being seen over Minnesota, okay, or something like that. Okay, we saw 2 or 3 drones. They weren't planes. I mean, everybody saw them. There was a whole group of people outside hanging out of the hotel. I mean, and there was at least 2 or 3 drones that were seen over, the hotel area in Mankato, Minnesota. It's just like, and it was the same type of ones that were seen over New Jersey. Big drones. It's just like, okay, so that makes sense to me, that it seems like this particular base is a very dangerous CIA base. So, military people, this is for military people, I would make sure to look into that base. I had another situation that seemed to be related to that base where I had, okay, years ago, I was a member of IAVA, Iraqi Veterans Against War. It was started by Paul Rieckhoff. Okay, and he was the one who wrote that book called Chasing Ghosts, and I've talked about his book on my channel. He was the very first platoon that was put into Iraq when we were first put into Iraq for the war back then, right? And they were getting all this bad intel, that we were, because apparently we were told by the CIA that we went in there to look for weapons of mass destruction. Okay, that isn't why we went into Iraq. We know this now, don't we? Can't we? We have to be smarter. You know, so he was getting so upset because he was constantly putting his platoon in danger for this bad intel, and that seems to be what's going on again right now at this very moment with the bad intel that we're getting to with this escalation in Iran and in Israel or something right now, right? Okay, and it's just like this other war in Iraq. It's based on bad intel by the CIA. Okay, so we have to understand that the CIA has constantly been known to start wars this way. They took out Libya this way. Watch the movie 13 Hours. Okay, they took out because they wanted their natural resources. You know, they went in there and literally took out a whole country. I mean, this agency is so dangerous. And so, so to finish my story regarding the Ayava situation, so I had read his book, Paul Rieckhoff, and I was like, yeah, I mean, it just seems like it didn't make any sense to me. What were we doing in Iraq? I mean, what did Iraq have to do with 9/11? Nothing. I mean, it wasn't, it was some people flew into, the towers, and how did we associate that somehow with Iraq? This is all CIA creating wars. This agency is creating these escalations, creating these wars. Okay? So we have to be smarter, and understand that this has gone on for decades now. The CIA purposely creating wars. Okay, so anyway, so apparently because I was on some kind of IAVA list, or somebody maybe from that area contacted me maybe a year ago or so, and I don't remember exactly, and they said that they were starting another IAVA group, and another veterans are all veterans, and we're getting together, and they invited me to a online meeting. Okay, and these were apparently they were out of New Jersey area too, and but it was very bizarre the way the meeting was run. Okay, it was like, okay, you pop up and you say hello, you say your name, and then you get introduced to another group and you say hello, you say a name. I don't know. It was super bizarre because the way that it was run, it seemed like they were more like trying to interrogate the veterans and see who we were and what we were all about, instead of a group for veterans. Okay, it seemed like it was more like an interrogation of veterans than a group for veterans. Okay, the original group, IAVA, that was Iraqi Veterans Against War. That was by Paul Rieckhoff, and he was a good guy. And I don't think he's still with us anymore. I know he had mentioned several times that he was threatened. I don't believe Paul Rieckhoff, the real Paul Rieckhoff, is with us anymore. And so, yeah, and I think that I think the CIA has infiltrated his organization, and that was out of New Jersey as well. Okay, so that's another association there. And me as a whistleblower, I can tell you firsthand that every single whistleblower organization that you think you can turn to has been taken over by the CIA. Okay, I tried every single one of them. Do not bother. Do not bother. Do not waste your time. They are all taken over by the CIA. Okay, our country has been completely infiltrated by the CIA. Do not bother as a whistleblower. The only thing that can protect the whistleblowers is the military. Okay, there has to be real military protection for whistleblowers, like the one that are coming forward in Minnesota to report the frauds. You know, they're still in danger. There was that one state representative that was killed. Melissa Hortman, her and her husband, and you know, and I've talked about this. Like, and those same type of cops were after me in Minnesota as well. They were undercover, unmarked. Okay, very, very dangerous. And the state representatives that are still speaking out, that have spoken out, and Alpha News people, and you know, they are in danger. You know, you have to be aware, because these politicians are very dangerous there, and they have they seem to obviously have the police in their corner, and especially these these unmarked ones or whatever, and it's mostly the state police. They seem to be using them as political targets. Okay, so be very aware and very careful. Okay, so I wanted to share that because that's really important for the military to know of the serious situation of whatever CIA base this is in New Jersey. Okay. And then, you know, and then with what are drones doing over at Mankato, Minnesota? It's like, for real? Like, who would you know, how many millions and why? You know, would that be a reason? You know, so I think I'm being targeted by that area, whatever base that is. Okay, so, but on a positive note, I was talking to somebody here, and there's apparently the fiat system where they have been able to use our social security number to make money off of us, like as a soldier. Apparently, you know, the elite or whatever, if you don't know this, apparently for years, if you die at war, or if you die in whatever reason, they can actually, for somehow, it's some kind of fiat system associated with our social security number. They actually make money off of us when we die. Okay, so, and I don't understand the whole thing, but apparently that whole thing ends March 1st. Okay, it's like it's a part of the Global Alliance, the Galactic Alliance. I don't know exactly how it's ending, but I think that whole thing ends March 1st. Okay, so that's I think they purposely try to kill people, you know, and in these wars and everything, so they can make this money on us, on our social security numbers. So this should be a big deal for all military, for all people to understand that are targeted individuals. That ends March 1st. 2026. So they can no longer, apparently after that, they can no longer make money off of killing you. So that is a big positive deal. Okay. Okay, but, and then I just have a couple other points I wanted to make. Because I just wanted people to understand, you know, the tactics that they use, you know, as far as the isolation tactics that they've used on me. And you have to understand that this is, you know, we think, the shot and the jab and whatever, that was part of a tactic to kill people. We know this now. But the other part of it was the isolation, how they isolated all of us. You know, how you can't go to church, but, you know, yet the bars were open, and and other things were open. But like the churches weren't open, or the schools weren't, you know, it's just like, you know, none of that made any sense. I hope we are wise enough to understand that now, you know, but the greater tactic, and they've used this on myself, other whistleblowers, okay, what they're constantly trying to do is isolate me. And you know, so you have no support system, and you have no system to reach out to. Okay, it is a tactic. It is a tactic, and you have to understand that the CIA, this agency, is known for known for psyops. Okay, so in the military, more than anything, you have to understand that they're known to, they can hack your comms, they can, but they're known for this for decades. Okay, known for miscommunicate, making sure communication gets miscommunicated, or conquering and dividing people. So you break up, so there's no unity. Okay, you have to make sure. So we have to, basically what I'm saying is we have to get back to communicating again, and directly communicating and getting together as people, as groups. So it's like in-person communication again, because that has been a huge tactic that they have used on purpose against our country, against the whole world, and if you can't communicate, this literally, I think, will be the downfall of our country if we don't get back to how to figure out how to communicate, because everybody's so afraid to talk to each other, and I can tell you firsthand that this Pegasus software is definitely involved. It's like you send an email and you really don't know if it's going through. And I've had my emails being blocked for years. Apparently people have never got them that I sent to contacts. I'll go in the contact form and I'll send something. They don't get it. Okay, so this part has to be fixed. We have to figure out how to communicate again, because we can't solve, if we can't communicate, then, we can't, we can't even learn how to fight the enemy. The enemy is the CIA, and they are known for this type of tactic. So the way to combat them is make sure you are getting firsthand communication, firsthand info of different things that are going on. It's so important, because they will block messages that you're trying to send. They'll block emails. They're blocking. This is really, really serious what's going on with Apple. This needs to be a massive. There needs to be a massive, massive investigation into this. I can't use my phone. I can't even, and I pay a lot for it. I have software on it that is literally blocking my communication and trying to isolate me, and I can't. I can barely use it. And then I'll try to go clean it out, and even and then it's just right again. I'll have some problems just a few days later. It's just it's something more. They have a software on it that is blocking me from communicating. Okay, and so that is a very serious tactic that this agency uses. Okay, this has happened to me for years. It's directly affected my relationships. It's directly affected a lot of different things in my life, because I can't. They're blocking me from communicating. Okay. Yeah, and it seems like people that might be new to my channel or might not know who I am. I'm a whistleblower, but it also has to do with one of the reasons why I'm so targeted is because, you have to understand that darkness sees the light. The darkness is, I don't go after any of this stuff. They've harassed me. They come after me. Okay. The darkness is afraid of the light. Okay. So they're constantly, coming after me. I don't look for any of these problems. I never looked for, I wasn't looking to become a whistleblower. I wasn't looking to have all these problems ever. I wasn't looking to have problems with the police. It's just when you're the darkness and some of their technology, they can see into the future and different things like that, with this Project Looking Glass. It's like, it's that type of stuff. They can see into the future of what you're going to become or something, and so You have to. It's way more complicated than what people think. It's if somebody's and the greater the anointing that you have, the greater the spiritual resistance is going to be. Okay, so you have to understand that as a Christian too. And so it isn't. Yeah, it's just not easy sometimes, but you have to just learn the spiritual tactics to get through. And so, okay, so I just wanted to explain these things tonight. And I think I said up most things that I want to say right now, but yeah, this is there's very dangerous things going on in this particular area, and yeah, and we believe it's definitely secret societies, and the Mossad involved, and so okay.